All right, hello. Here's a recap of my trade from December 16th, Tesla break and retest long. So here's Tesla, 15-minute time frame. This was the opening range of Tesla on the 16th. We can tell that it came down and put in a very, on the 15-minute time frame, it put in a very bullish candle. Came and took out liquidity at the bottom here and then broke out above the range. What I was looking at was the break and retest of this range. Just to go back to previous day high. We rejected previous day high, but with strong momentum, it could go back there. So went to the 5-minute time frame. It put in what I like to call a trending kangaroo tail. I didn't invent that term. It comes from one of the books that I've read, and I actually use a lot of the concepts from that book in my trading. So this is what I was looking at, the break and retest. It came down and retested this area. I zoom into the 1 minute. What I'm looking for at this point is a bullish 1 minute candle. So let's move forward a little bit. This candle, no wick to the bottom, closed right at the top. This is a bullish candle. This was my entry. And my stop was meant to be below the wick of the previous candle. However, I misclicked my stop. And this was an error in execution. My stop was meant to be just below the low of the previous candle here. So I likely would have been stopped out because the next 5-minute candle came and swept just below, just to come and take my stop and everybody else's stop. However, this is not where it was meant to be. It was an execution error. However, I'm still sharing it here. You can tell that it did go in my direction. So let's play it out. Okay, as you can tell, we would have had to have a lot of patience here. So this is in my trade on DOS. I was taken out before this over here because my stop was, I had misclicked on my platform. I could just double click to set the stop, and then it's a hotkey on my keyboard to enter. It calculates the amount of shares according to my risk. However, it was an execution error. I logged it in as a how error. I document all my trades in the where, when, and how. For more information on that, just follow me and I will explain in upcoming videos. So you can tell that it did hit the profit target over here. This was the 3-to-1 ratio. It took out liquidity right below the wick of where I wanted to enter, so and only by like 15-20 cents. So this would have been a very tight risk. A more conservative risk would have been just under the previous fair value gap. So just at the bottom of this range over here, and it still would have right here. And let's move to a 5-minute time frame. It still would have hit 3R. So let's bring it back to 3 over here, and then I'll fast forward, and there you go. You can tell that it would have hit just a little bit later on. However, I did not expect it to necessarily go above previous day high. I was aiming for below, which was part of the reason that I got stopped out a little bit early. So there you go. Break and retest long, that worked. It just didn't work for me. Hopefully these videos are helpful. Don't forget, discipline over dollars.